Welcome to today's edition of Columbia Links, produced by the Fall-Winter 2015 and 2016 session. I'm Judah Sweig.
And I'm Lauryn Balark. We begin today's webcast with a report on the hardships that immigrant students face in Chicago public schools. Reporter Jalen Ramirez joins us now with more on this story. Jalen, what kind of challenges are the students dealing with in the classroom?
Thank you, Lauren. And the hardships these students face in the Chicago public school system are not only through educational means, but also through social means. Can you imagine how hard it is not only crossing to a new country, but also crossing different language barriers? Back to you.
Thanks, Jalen. When it comes to undocumented immigrants, they also face hardships in higher education. I looked at this issue in my story, Dream and Still Dream.
Now, Lauren, when it comes to education and when it comes to higher paying immigrants, what are the struggles?
Undocumented immigrants really struggle with paying for college. Organizations funded by the government, such as FAFSA, don't give money to people who are not American citizens, so they have more trouble paying for college and actually getting into college.
So how would you pay for college?
Some people have ways around FAFSA, so they may put that they are an international student, or people sometimes use privately owned scholarships to pay for college.
I'm looking forward to reading your story, Lauren.
Thank you.
Now to a story about loving the skin you are in. Whether you are 16 or 60, it can be a hard thing to do. Reporter Cody McCoy dives into this topic in her story, Loving Our Bodies. Reconstructing Black and Brown Beauty. You can read Cody's complete story on columbialinks.org.
When parents divorce, grandmas often step in to help. Reporter Alexis Wright has been working on this story. She joins us now with more. Alexis, it sounds like some grandparents are helping children cope in more ways than just one.
That's right, Lauren. It turns out that grandparents are actually taking care of the grandchildren rather than the parents taking care of their own children themselves. Not only are the parents going through hard times and stressful emotions and such, the grandparents are just taking care of the grandchildren. Back to you.
Thanks, Alexis.
At least 125 people with signs of mental illnesses died in police encounters in the U.S. last year. That's according to a recent Washington Post investigation.
Reporter Numweka Namka looks into why some officers are not trained to handle calls involving people who may have mental health problems. You can read his story on columbialinks.org.
Did you know that when budget cuts are made at a school, the art program is usually the first thing on the chopping block? That's an alarming problem that's happening at some schools here in Chicago. I learned a lot about the importance of art programs while working on this story.
How important are these art programs to students?
Well, actually, Lauren, they're extremely important because after interviewing numerous principals, students, staff members at various CPS schools, I found that when art programs are cut in their schools, students have a lower graduation rate and they actually do worse in their school because, when a self-expressive outlet in their school is taken away from them, that gives them less motivation to go to school. I mean, would you want to go to school just having academics all day or having somewhere where you can escape and have a safe haven?
That's really interesting, Judah. All right, and now for some highlights of what Columbia Links did this fall.
From visiting U Media to looking at the relationships between police officers and the community, our teens touched on many issues important in today's world.
All these stories and much more by heading to our website, columbialinks.org. I'm Lauryn Balark.
And I'm Judah Sweig. Thanks for joining us. Lauren, that reporter Regina? She was on Channel 5 News. I saw quite a few errors on that channel.